Good morning. Welcome back to 4 More Minutes. I am Sam Bailey, the Soul Stir, stirring up your hearts and your minds for God. I want to thank you guys for joining us this morning. Happy Wednesday to you. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe to the Soul Stir on YouTube. That is the easiest, most effective way to share these messages and to put some positivity, inspiration, hope, and encouragement out into the world. I want to also ask that we continue to pray for one another. We have so many who are going through things right now, and prayer is always, has been, always will be a powerful tool that we have at our disposal to deal with life and to handle things in this life. I want to talk about the valley of the shadow of the shadow in the valley, rather. And I was thinking about what David said in 23rd Psalm, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And for many of us in life, death is about the worst that you can get, right? But I think there is something worse than death, and that is not ever learning how to live when you're alive. Because death is inevitable to all of us. But, the shadow that David refers to, it indicates that light is present, for you cannot have a shadow without there being light. And think about this. He talks about being in a valley. You're not only in a low place, but there's darkness in that low place. You're not at the pinnacle. You're not at the top of the mountain. And so sometimes we find ourselves in the valley, in the shadow, in a low place, in a dark place. But he says, I will fear, because fear is the natural response to being in a low, dark place. He said, I will fear no evil. And that's where evil resides, in low, dark places. And evil can just marinate and incubate and grow. And before we know it, we're fearing things that are beyond our control. We're fearing things that we should be able to face in faith. And he says it's just a walk through. It's not a temporary location. It's not a permanent place. It's just a walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Or some of us who walk through the valley of the shadow of disappointment or divorce or sickness or loss. A lot of different things that we walk through the valley of the shadow of. And that light is present, and you may not always see it or feel it, but it's there. That's why the shadow is cast in the first place. So no matter what you're going through today, no matter how much darkness seems to be around, just know that the reason why you're still able to see the goodness of God, as the psalmist says, I would have fainted unless I would learn how to see the goodness of God in the land of the living. Some of us still think that the only goodness that we're going to ever find is when life is over and on the other side, but you've got to be able to find it right now. You've got to be able to find it on a daily basis. And so it's so important to know that what you're going through is just a walkthrough and you're passing through it. Everything in this life is temporary. It doesn't always feel like it, because some storms stay longer than others. Some storms bring more rain than others. But it's important to know that if we survive, when we survive, that we learn the lessons, and also that it increases our faith. And I think God has to take us through things to help us learn how to trust Him. We've been trusting ourselves, we've been trusting other alternative sources, but our full hope, assurance, trust, and faith ought to reside in Him. And it's easy to see the sunshine, it's easy to bask in the light when you're standing on the top of the mountain, but what about when you're walking through the low, dark places? He says, I will not fear. We will not fear. Fear can take a hold and grip your life and will not release you from its grasp. But faith always sees possibilities, and faith always looks forward by trusting that God knows what He's doing and that He's sovereign. So have a great day today. Have a positive day today. They call this hump day, right? Which is getting over that hump and headed toward the weekend. Pray for one another. Be positive in your thinking and move on purpose. And remember, walk into that room, whatever that place, like you've been anointed and appointed, for God is with you. He says, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So God is going to guide you as a good shepherd. Love you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow right here on 4 More Minutes.